LSU grabbed their first shutout since 2018 over southeastern Louisiana. They do it tonight over New Mexico, a team that I would say would be far better pedigree than Southern, who we just played and allowed 17 points to, or southeastern Louisiana, who we shut out back in 2018. But LSU, no shutouts in the 2019 season, 2020 season, 2021. LSU defense gets back to doing what it does best, which is kicking ass, taking absolute names from first, second to last. And then the offense, the offense first half was a little like we'd seen before. Some chunks of plays from the receivers, some good rhythm plays, but nothing really coming of it. And then just some breakdowns in the offensive line, some drives that should have ended in touchdowns that end in field goals or no points at all. Just listless offensively in that first half. Only 17 points on the board, but get it going in that second half. 633 yards on offense for LSU. This is the first 600-yard game since 2019 when we did it like 10 times or something like that. I would assume maybe even more with Joe Burrow and that offense. The first 600-yard game since 2019, 219 yards on the ground, 4 rushing touchdowns, and then we finally got the passing touchdown at the end where Garrett Nussmeier, coming in late in the game for Jaden Daniels, connects with Brian Thomas Jr. for a 57-yard screen pass where Brian Thomas Jr. just making people miss, turns on the afterburners, is just gone. This is what happens when you give LSU receivers the football. But really the story of this game, all goes back to the beginning here. LSU started out this game, and they knew they had to get Jack Bech in a rhythm. They knew they had to get Jack Bech involved. Jack Bech opens the game, getting the ball a few times. Malik Neighbors gets the ball, makes some plays. But really they made a concerted effort to get Jack involved. 7 targets, 6 catches, 43 yards. But the craziest thing with Bech is that let me rep this shirt right here. Bech from Louisiana with his number 80 on the back of it, with number 80 Bech on the back. Very cool shirt. Definitely go order that through his social media. But Jack Bech, 6 catches, 43 yards. At least getting in a rhythm, looking good doing it as well. I think 37 of those 43 yards were after the catch as well. But that punt return, 76-yard punt return where he's making guys miss immediately. Gets the ball, makes 2 guys miss, almost run into each other, making another guy miss, bends it around, and he's just gone. Down the sidelines, the tiptoe dance down the sidelines as well. And at some point, Colby Fields absolutely destroys this dude. And, it could have been a lot more violent, a lot worse. But it wasn't. And the flag was thrown, even though it had no consequence on the play. Really, the guy would not have caught Bech on that play. He would have not been able to get Bech to the ground. Sullies what would have been the play of the game, a play the team was kind of needing a spark right there. 76-yard punt return touchdown by Jack Bech, called back for the flag away from the play. Blindside hit by Colby Fields. It's hard to stomach because that would have been beautiful. And it looks like LSU has found punt returner 1, don't you think? It feels like Jack Bech is that punt returner 1. And, I mean, anyone wondering whether he could be a punt returner or show off his skills, after he gets the ball in his hands, well, look what he just did. That looked effortless. That looked like he was barely even going, and he was just flying past everybody. And it's like, I know he has another gear. and another year after that too. So it looks like Jack Bech is going to be, punt returner one as well. And it looks like, this is why you give him the ball early in the game. It got our offense going, and we were able to punch it in early. We weren't able to score, really any first half touchdowns in the games against, or first quarter touchdowns, even in that Mississippi State or Florida State game. The touchdowns, I believe, just that one came late against Mississippi State, courtesy of Jeray Jenkins. But we were able to get our offense going. Daniels, 279 passing yards, 24 of 29, 37 yards on the ground. Took a really nasty hit at the end of the game that, I don't know if it's a concussion or what, but his head goes whipping against the field. Definitely a vicious hit. Has to come out of the game. I don't know how much longer he was going to stay in the game anyway, but he has to come out of the game as well. And 24 to 29, he was efficient with the ball. But he still missed some passes. He still missed some openings. He picked the wrong reads on a few of those completions. They were still being way too conservative, way too safe, and so was he with his route choice. This is the guy I'm going to go to. This is the target I'm going to throw it at. There's a lot of times he would be, missing the kill shot for, a 5-yard dump off just because he does not want to make a mistake. And therefore you got 0 passing touchdowns as well as 0 interceptions because he's not willing to make a mistake or take a chance. And that lack of trust in the receivers, it will come back to bite us. We didn't, once again, I don't feel like we saw anywhere near close to the potential of this passing game. We saw the receivers getting in a rhythm. Yes. We saw the receivers getting the ball. Yes. We saw the receivers getting involved. Yes. But you look at that Chris Hilton bomb. If Jaden Daniels can just lead Chris Hilton just a little bit with the ball, if you just can lead him with the ball, that goes from a 51-yard catch where Chris Hilton has to almost fall down to catch the ball to a breakaway 80-plus yard touchdown, just like John Trey Kirkland was able to lead him with the ball. That's the thing is John Trey Kirkland threw a better deep pass on there to Chris Hilton than Jaden Daniels right there. I hate to say that because Daniels shows improvement in other places here tonight, but it's too safe, it's too pedestrian, and this receiving core really deserved better. This receiving core need better. This would have been great to have Kayshawn out there tonight. Obviously, the new father, being with the mom and his new baby boy, wish him all the best. And he looks like he is really almost an immediate change in Kayshawn. Like he said, "quote This is you are exactly what I needed, little man," or something like that on his social media tweet. And so it's obvious it's going to help Kayshawn in his life going forward. It would have been great to see him against this New Mexico defense tonight because he would have toasted them. I feel like there were really some openings for the deep shot, the deep ball that we just weren't calling, weren't taking. I don't know. There were some chances late in the game to get a lot of the receivers some touchdowns against that worn out New Mexico defense with Garrett Nussmeier on the field, but we opted for some more conservative play calling to get Noah Kane, almost close to 100 yards on the ground, stuff like that. But a little too pedestrian for me on offense, even though, hey, we put up 633 yards on offense.